But I'm making seafood gumbo. And I was 3 hours into like making a roux, and I was like, God, I really want to end it all. God, I am not doing well.
Yep.
When you realize a roux takes 2.5 hours to make.
When you find yourself having like the same night as like a white housewife that's just like listening to like jazz music and she's drinking white wine.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, she's just walking around the kitchen. You're like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I'm that.
You're a housewife from the 50s.
Yeah.
You're vacuuming and you have a martini and you're like, ooh, look at me. My husband's not gay.
My husband's landing on the moon. There's no pussy up there.
My husband's landing on the moon, which means he can't hit me for another 4 days. Because he's in space, sweetheart.
That's why everyone wanted to fuck astronauts and marry astronauts then.
Yeah, they're like,
Pay for the time off.
Yeah. Can you imagine a husband so far away he can't violently abuse you at the drop of a hat?
All the astronauts in the 50s?
Sure, 60s.
Okay, 60s, whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus. When they they came back to Earth, they hopped out of the thing and they parachuted into their backyard through the window of their living room and fucking knocked the shit out of their wife.
Yeah.
Before they even touched the ground.
Oh, yeah.
You know Neil Armstrong, right before that first step, he's like, I bet my wife's cooking the shit out of some fucking burnt ass meatloaf right now. That stupid bitch. God damn. He takes a moon rock back so he can hit his wife with it.
Even if those guys, like, let's say those guys went to space, right?
Sure.
Which I think they did.
I think they did too, yeah.
You never know.
And then they had to take, like, their wives and their kids with them.
To space?
To space. In zero gravity, I think they still, you're floating and you can't even, like, brush your teeth. They'd still find a way to, like, suck a few blows in on their wife.
Oh, they'd have to, like, call them. They're like, Houston, we have to know there's a lot of blood in the cockpit right now and it's floating around. What's the best way to get rid of all? And then, like, it's like Apollo 13, like, guys in cigarettes and black bow ties. Like, all right, we've got this equipment. We've got to figure out how to hit his wife better in space. We've got 45 minutes before these men go down.
We have the best Nazi scientists on this right now trying to figure this out in real time.
Yeah. Houston, can we get Werner von Braun on here tell me how to beat my wife like she's in a fucking camp?
I don't know. I really don't respect astronauts, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of our money, and I don't care. It's like whenever like they get really into it.
Yep.
It's like it reminds me of like a kid in a bathtub being like, it's like you're really excited about playing like cowboys and Indians, and you want all of our taxpayer money to go to your little fucking fantasy where you like fly into the sky.
Yeah, you carry it from like age 6.
They keep doing it, and I'm like, well, have you built a Chipotle yet on another planet, retard? Where's the fuck? I thought they always act like they're building a community for us.
You know what they do?
It's just there for them.
They bring back like specimens from the moon. They bring back like moon rocks and stuff, and they like test it.
Cool.
And they go, turns out the moon is a part of the Earth. Something hit the Earth, and a chunk of the moon came off the Earth. It's like, okay, so we need to keep going back constantly.
So we're a planet, that's a planet. Great work.
Yeah. We spent $9 billion to figure out the moon is gay. So you guys are welcome.
I knew being an astronaut was gay when I finally watched that movie Armageddon. I was like, this is really gay.
Yeah.
Because it's retarded. You can't land on a meteor.
No.
And that's what made me realize, I go, oh, they have to, being an astronaut is so gay.
Yeah.
That they have to be like, no, actually they land on like comets. It's like, that's not possible. It's literally impossible.
Well, I mean, being an astronaut is literally like, all you do is sit in a thing. That's it.
Yeah. It's like taking an Uber.
It's like he's a celebrity. It's like, oh, he sat in a dentist's office for 3 days. Who gives a shit?
It's basically like, oh, you can shit yourself for a month on end. Cool.
The hardest part about being an astronaut is not jerking off for the 3 days to get to the moon. That's it. And they probably still do.
It's probably a great jack off. It's all in slow motion and shit. You can't really go that hard, but you're like, oh man, that's a great stroke.
I guess it's if you're a dribbler, like if you don't shoot loads.
Yeah.
What's nice about space is everybody's the same.
It would be really cool to come in space.
Yeah. You get like a pocket pussy and just spin it in zero gravity and just slide your dick into it.
Yeah, that's really satisfying sounding.
You could probably fucking take a little port, open it on the space capsule, and just stick your dick out, and the suction of space.
Yes, let space suck you out.
Space would be sucking you out.
An infinite suck machine. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine for getting sucked off.
Yeah, exactly.
I got blown by the universe.
I knew a guy growing up who the way he masturbated was he had a vacuum.
Oh yeah.
And he put the
Up his ass.
like the tube of the vacuum. Yeah, he stuck it up his ass and sucked the shit out of it. No, he put the tentacle part.
Sure.
I don't use a vacuum. I don't know how they work.
I did
I
that
think.
once.
Listen, I think everybody gets where you're going.
We've
for.
done it.
Yeah.
He would put it on and then masturbate
I never
into the tube.
masturbated. I
of
just
it.
tried it a couple times as a kid. I was like, well, that could be cool. But I'm
That's
not
how
gonna-
he came. He would like get when his mom left, he would go downstairs into the closet and get the vacuum and go upstairs like in his bed.
Yeah.
And like fuck it.
That's not that crazy. When my mom, they would leave. My parents would leave the house. It looked like I was making a bomb. I'd have like scissors, like a glue gun, rubber bands, plastic bags, Vaseline, banana peel, grapefruits.
They thought you were Ted Kaczynski.
Oh yeah, I would fuck my couch all the time. My first love, my couch. Fuck the shit out of that thing.
Because you would make the science pussy.
I'd make a fake pussy.
You're like MacGyver.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember I'd be on the bus from school I'd be like looking up like how to make like a fake pussy. And then I'd get home and I'd time it because we already talked about this in the other episode, jacking off, eating.
Oh yeah.
I'd
jack off.
I'd go to Wong's Walk. I'd buy like real shitty Chinese
Love
food.
Wong's Walk.
Great place.
Yeah.
Great place. One of those places where it's like, you're just eating styrofoam, but it's like fine.
Yeah.
Right. You would get the container. They go, all right, have a good jack off, Mr. Costa.
And I'd
Oh,
literally
this Mr. Costa horny again.
I'd set the plate of food, I'd set the styrofoam box of food aside, and then I'd make my jack off machine. And I'd come, and then I'd walk out like I was like a man, and I'd eat my food.
Right. Yeah, you fucked your sex thing like a real like madman.
Yeah,
type
I
guy.
would like candles and shit.
Right.
I'd give it a ring.
You're just giving it like back shots, like it's your wedding night. You're spanking it and shit. You spit on it, and then smoke a cigarette as
Oh, yeah.
a little 12-year-old.
See,
Yeah.
the vacuum thing's not that crazy.
You could have. I like to imagine like if you didn't have a computer in your home, you would have learned how to build your own computer, like that guy in like Michigan who like built a radio with like parts from his farm or whatever in like 1932 or whatever. You'd be that guy, but you'd build a supercomputer in your basement to just watch like Asa and Kira just jerk somebody off.
Yeah, I'd figure it out.
Taxi
Yeah,
cab.
I figured it
But
out.
it's the only. But you'd still fail all your classes. People would try to talk to you. You'd be like, "What?"
No,
like,
I-
you'd still be very.
He's like an idiot. He doesn't know how to do anything. Meanwhile, I've created a computer.
Yeah.
You invented a new type of computer that didn't exist.
You have like the whole base is full of like an IBM like card computer that you have to slide shit in.
Yes.
Just to get a printout of a vagina.
No, Devin's like stole an ATM, and he just is using the ATM like as a computer. That he doesn't even care about the money or anything.
Right. Yeah, he's hotwired an ATM to look at boobs.
He's doing like one piece at a time. That Johnny Cash song where he steals one piece of the Cadillac.
Yeah.
He just does that with like
You
different.
should do a version of that song, one piece at a time, but he's working at a sex doll factory and he just steals one body part
Putting
at
a
a
body together.
Yeah.
One piece at a time. Working at the Japanese $9,000 sex robot factory.
Did it cost me a dime?
Then
That's how
it
it goes,
cost me a
right?
dime. And I got this weird Japanese octopus lady to fuck. I'm Johnny Cash.
Hello. I'm Johnny Cash.
I'm Johnny Cash and I'm addicted to robot pussy.
Who is he? Was he flipping off a black guy in that famous photo?
Was that just
I mean, that's what you've been telling yourself. I think that was like the system, you know?
Yeah.
It's flipping off the man.
Mhm.
Johnny
That's
Cash.
what they do say. Yeah, that's what they. It's from his first American record, the American recording. It says Johnny Cash would like to thank the recording industry for its support of him over the years and so. But who knows? Maybe it's a Chinese guy he's thinking of.
Oh, I'm saying, we don't know. Maybe he's flipping off like Sammy Davis Jr. in that photo.
Could be.
Dude took it of him.
It could be. I like
He's
that.
flipping off Martin Luther
Yeah.
King.
That's the night he met Cindy Portier.
Yeah, that's on the cutting room floor of Walk the Line. It's him meeting Sidney Poitier, played by
Yeah.
Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, he's the man in black. He's actually just wearing a guy's skin.
Yeah, the original title he went for was The Man Who Hates Black.
Yeah, he was so obsessed with prisons because he was trying to hunt them.
He
That was really
People always wonder. People always wonder why he did so many drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, I wasn't done.
I don't know. It's just the pause.
Funny pause.
What? I'm trying to go slower. People say we go too fast.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sure, slow it down.
I'm trying to be like the other podcast.
I get it. Make it worse.
Mm. Go ahead.
Would you guys stop laughing at funny things?
Yeah,
Sorry,
no.
my apologies.
It's like cringe when you guys enjoy yourselves. You know how like you guys have conversations that like I can't have with anybody on earth? It's like cringe. Because I can't fathom doing that.
I cannot fathom people like laughing at what their friend says. So.
Like, no one's like ever enjoyed anything I've said, so it's like when I see it happening to you, like it's like cringe.
Right, like if you guys were funny, you would like talk about like Will Ferrell movie like scenes. So, like that's how me and my friends are funny.
How come you guys just don't sound like you're on like benzos for like an hour? And then we all just like you because it's like already an established
Yeah.
thing.
How come you guys are like?
My favorite things are things that have already been established, and then the quality doesn't matter.
Devin,
but
please.
I'm still tricked.
Devin, there has to be a wave of support behind the thing that I decide I
Yeah,
like.
exactly. I don't know how to like things unless other people have already told me to like it.
They tell me.
Yeah.
It's like Nike or
Anyway,
anything.
you're cringe.
Anyway, cringe brev.
You're cringe faggot.
That voice. The useless guy.
Yeah,
He's
useless.
he's like didactic.
It's literally
useless
it's a
matter of
a
fact.
head popping out of a shirt like a turtle.
Yeah.
He's like, you're cringe faggot. Going back into his shirt.
Just a human YouTube comment. Yeah.
A guy that pops out of his shirt he lives in and then pecks at a button that says cringe on his computer.
Yeah, cringe.
Hits it like a chicken in it.
Cringe. Yeah.
I was gonna say about Johnny Cash. People are like, why do you do so many drugs? It's like, okay, first of all, he was a rock star.
Sure.
That's why he did tons of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, do you ever see any footage of him going back to seeing where he grew up?
Yeah.
And he has to take like a train to like get to like he lived on a railroad track.
He has to pump himself there on a self-driving. Himself on it. Yeah.
There's no road.
He's like, I am a man of constant sorrow.
Yeah. He grew up in like a shed, and now you can only get to it by riding a basset hound there. That's the only. Now this place only exists if you got a bloodhound with you.
Using the ears like reins.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's like the village in the Mummy, where you can only see it at a certain time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hope a dog smells a prisoner where you used to live.
Well, we come to this old tree in the swamp, and we sing "Wade in the Water," and the city will come out of the swamp. Yeah.
He lived in like there's like documentary footage of like Johnny Cash, like this is where I grew up. And he's just in a field, and he just points behind him, and it's a dirt field, and there's just a toilet.
Yeah.
He's like, we slept in the toilet,
Right.
just in the middle of this field,
Yeah.
and there's just like a bird pecking at
He's
it.
walking around in like a black, like studded suit. He's like, that chicken killed my brother. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like obviously, as soon as imagine a guy like that
Yeah.
who was eating. Like a guy who'd be like, well, an onion grew today, so that's what I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm eating a onion.
Like you're
And
so.
it rained, so I looked up and I got to drink water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you give me Vicodin, yeah, I'm gonna be like, can I have more, please?
Yeah.
No.
You grew up like so poor you had to eat soul food out of like necessity.
The type of people that were so poor that escaped slaves would show up and then they'd serve them dinner and the escaped slaves would be like, the fuck is this shit?
You guys eat pig nails?
They're like, what the fuck is this, holes?
You fed me a hole in the ground.
Motherfucking peaches and onions.